Larry Lee Trimble did 3 tours in Vietnam, first with the 101st Airborne in 1965, second with MACV-SOG, and third tour Larry was training Cambodians. This film is about Larry's military life, especially his time with the Military Assistance Command Vietnam Studies and Observations Group MACV-SOG, which was a highly classified, multi-service United States Special Operations Unit, which conducted covert unconventional warfare operations prior to and during the Vietnam War. Larry was present at FOB-4 on August 23, 1968, and was positioned on Marble Mountain overwatch position next to FOB-4 Da Nang. That night 16 Special Forces men were killed by a large sapper element. Many more would have been lost if not for the courageous action that Larry Trimble displayed. To see the full interview regarding August 23, 1968, please go to my YouTube channel at SpecialOpsGP.
It's a little hot out there, so I just got a Tiger beer. It's our favorite beer while we're in Vietnam. It's between maybe a Coors and a Budweiser, but it's very refreshing. Cheers. So yeah, we did a lot this trip, and I would like everyone to just watch all of our episodes. Tell us what you think, give us a like, share it. We're always trying to make new videos, so any donations would be great. It all goes to me going around the country, interviewing SOG personnel like Larry. Again, thank you for watching, thank you for your support, and these are going to be epic videos in this
I kind of have to read a little bit of what I introductions anymore. I don't remember nothing. But anyway, good afternoon and thank you. I hope you enjoy this. We went back to Vietnam here a while back in January and kind of turned my life around. I didn't really know how I was going to do it, but I appreciate your interest in my trip back. It's been 55 years since I went back. It took Bruce Christensen right here. He started on me about 2 or 3 years ago. I'll go back. And finally he talked me into going. And I appreciate that, Bruce. Thank you. Bruce is a military MACV-SOG historian. He's going to talk about when we went back here and also show some films. This evening we'll be showing these slideshow. Also pictures taken while we was back there, and I hope everybody enjoys that. There's some funny ones, some good ones, and very interesting, I think. I'd like to introduce all the people that was on the team when we went back now. Bruce Christensen, just as I said, he's a military MACV-SOG historian and has been doing the operations into Laos, Cambodia, and North Vietnam for how long now, Bruce? Several years. And MACV-SOG is actually Military Assistance Command, Vietnam, and Studies and Observation Group is what it stands for. Rob Graham, over here, Rob, he's, catch up with myself, CEO of Savage Games Design. And he's been working with these video games, I think is what they are, and doing like operations that we run into this over the border. Everything was classified up till the early 90s, and now it's in the open, and Rob's doing that. Actually, I have to appreciate Rob. He paid my plane ticket over to Vietnam.
Good job, Rob.
And he also, along with Bruce, paid all of my activities over there. They took care of me pretty good. I lost my phone, so you know what. So they caught up and picked me up another phone. We worked off of whatever it is, WhatsApp on the phones. So I was very lucky. They taught me how to operate them things. This is what I thought was kind of unique. Actually, we did have actual code names. My code name was Gambler. I got to pick it out myself. They had a list of them when we went through TOC, that's Technical Operations Center. I had a list of names for codes. you could pick out your own that was open. I seen Gamma, I said, that's pretty cool. So Rob thought this was also okay, and so he made it Team Gambler, as what this was all about while we was over there. Mary Ann, right here, went over as support. She works for Bruce with support and also doing modeling and stuff like that for most of his equipment that he sells. He works with, makes a lot of the military memorabilia and stuff like that. Thank you, Mary Ann. Hayden, he's not here, but Hayden did all of our shots. He's got a, what do you call him? Drone. Couldn't think for a minute what it was. But Hayden worked for Rob, and they've been together for 15 years, but they met in person for the first time in Vietnam. And actually, Hayden's home is in New Zealand, but he resides in Vietnam in the Trang. Let's see, also Don over here. Don was, he was a gunner, door gunner on one of the slicks and come in on support on our operations and got us out of a lot of jams. This time I'd like to turn the presentation over to Rob and Bruce, and they'll be showing us slides and everything. I hope everybody enjoys it. After the slide show and the video, we'll take a few minutes for any questions that anybody should like to have. Okay, thank you so much. I still appreciate y'all coming this evening.
Thank you.
There we go, we're in the dark, right. This is the stealth stage of the operation, so hopefully you can hear me at the back. Just check, is my voice level about right for you? Yeah.
Up a little bit.
All right, I'll put up a little bit more into it then, to go over to Vietnam. And this picture here, this handsome devil, is sitting over there. That's Larry on his first tour with the 101st Airborne. So Larry did a whole tour, and that Thompson he's got there, he borrowed off someone to test out because they were trying to sell it or trade it, and it's obviously an old World War II gun. But yeah, so Larry was over there doing his first combat tour, getting his boots on the ground, getting some lead down range, developing his field skills and his combat experience, which meant that he could then go back for his second tour and as Special Forces, having qualified, and that's him with RT-ASP, the recon team, and the missions they were doing were literally suicide missions, going over the border into Laos, Cambodia, North Vietnam, and the DMZ, the demilitarized zone between, as you know, between the two countries. The teams were made up of indigenous soldiers with American leadership, and the Americans would carry the big radios to call all the air support, and which packed the punch that they needed to be able to kick the ass off the North Vietnamese, pardon my French. So they did a hell of a job of it too, because they, some of the guys knocked out 9,000 dudes in one day, that with 6 men. There were missions like that. They're incredible missions. Nobody's ever heard of them because they were black operations. They were all deniable. But if anyone knows anything about MACV-SOG, you'll know that these guys are legends. So that's Larry's team. This is where they were camped out on the beach in Da Nang, which is sort of quite far up between, just below the imperial city of Hue, which itself is just below Dong Ha, and where the DMZ was, where North Vietnam starts. So the camp over there, you've got Marble Mountain, which is the big black lump in the bottom, and then just above it you can see a grey square, and that's the helipad, and where they would take off and go to a launch site near the border, and then from the border they would fly off and do their mission if the weather was good and if their air package was ready. The rest of the camp we'll see a better picture of shortly.
Excuse me, real quick. Where's the Marine camp?
I'm pretty sure this is the Marine camp here, but Larry would probably know best. Is it this one?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That's where they went. That was the amphibious Marine outfit.
Yeah, and you've got a prisoner of war camp over here.
Yeah.
which comes into play in a moment. So
Okay, sorry.
that's all right. I don't mind. All right, and then so this is an interesting picture because this comes from the after-action report of the R20 VC Sapper Battalion that attacked Larry's camp on the night of the 22nd of August 1968. And in the early morning of the 23rd of August is when Larry was up there on Marble Mountain, which is down in the bottom. And you can see that the VC are literally coming out of the mountain and through the wire. And then some of them are coming from the sea carrying satchel charges. And they killed 16 Green Berets that night and about 100 of the indigenous recon soldiers. So it was the single biggest loss of life of special forces in I think in history. So Larry basically held out up on the mountain and very quickly got his team together and went down a little bit off the mountain and found the VC mortar that had been set up to start shelling into the camp, which would have undoubtedly killed a lot more guys. And Larry's team took it out.
Right on.
And then I should add that he also then spent the entire rest of the night at some points alone fending off the rest of the VC who were trying to overrun his position, including using a Spectre gunship that was flying overhead. So yeah, and that's the team together. So this is us with Marble Mountain behind us, and we've got Hayden, the drone pilot, myself, drones on. We've got Schwan with his special operations cap that I gave him when I met him, and we've got Bruce and Marianne and Larry on the end. So the first thing we did after getting settled in Saigon was go to the War Museum, and it was quite astounding how one-sided propaganda it was on the walls of the museum. Some of the things they're writing about atrocities, not mentioning any of the ones they committed, which we all know about on our side. Kind of interesting to see their point of view. We were there to be educated, to see these things. And we looked around at quite a few things. That's an old, like a Covey aircraft, which was a forward air controller and used for visual reconnaissance on the sorts of missions Larry was doing. And then in the background here, I had to take this picture. That's a Blue 82, which is a daisy cutter bomb, 15,000 pound bomb. MACV-SOG guys were compromised. The MVA had really good intelligence agents, and they knew the grid coordinates and even the names of the guys going into those missions in their own territory. And when the SOG guys got wind of this, they would send their coordinates through as usual. They would get leaked. They would get sent over to the north. The north would send a welcoming committee to surround the LZ and wait for the troops to land. And then the teams would call at the last minute a Blue 82 to go in and welcome the welcoming committee. And it was pretty effective. So I thought that we needed to have that picture. So we've got here letters from the battlefield. So this book was written by an NVA officer with an American officer in recent years, and we met his daughter and had dinner with her. We couldn't quite work out the logistics to get them together, but they would have liked to have met. And it shows you that we're in an era of peace now with Vietnam. That there are good relationships there between combatants from both sides. So Larry was very pleased to have the book. So we took over a floor in a hotel, and Bruce and myself interviewed Larry about his tour in the 101st, and that will be going up on YouTube soon. So yeah, we had a bit of fun. I got to hang out with Hayden, my buddy. I've worked with him for 15 years. Never actually had the chance because we're on other sides of the world. I'm in Britain and he's in New Zealand. But you can see Monkey Mountain behind us. This is China Beach in Da Nang. There's a big, about 200-foot high Buddha standing at the promontory there, and a kind of interesting mountain we'll talk about. The team going out on the night in Saigon, and then riding around on Hayden's moped. In the traffic over there is completely insane. They drive up the pavements, they go through red lights. It's like a shoal of fish, and then there's another shoal coming the other way, and they just merge and go through each other. And you're in the middle of that. It's kind of wild.
Wow.
You need a few beers before you drive there. So This is House 22, 22 Leroy Street. It's an ordinary house now, but back in the day this was packed full of Green Berets with their girlfriends and their beer and everything else. And there was a little place over the street where they would sit out on this balcony here, and they would call to the Chinese place and get soup delivered, and they'd bring it across the street for them and feed them up. And they'd stay at this place to kind of unwind when they weren't in camp or running missions. So it was pretty cool to take Larry back there and peer through the slats at the confused people inside. No, there wasn't anyone in there. So, and there's Hayden getting a patch from Larry, and he was very, very happy to get that. We're always very honoured to work with the SOG guys, and whenever they give us a gift of a patch or something, it's kind of like saying we're happy to have you on our team. That means a hell of a lot to us. So this just orientates you a little bit. We've got Monkey Mountain with the Buddha to the north there in the top right of the map. House 22 is across the river, and then which is in the sort of major downtown part. And then the CCN camp, I mean, this was just a beach during the war. There was really nothing there. And then Marble Mountain just below it. Okay. So there's Larry pointing out Monkey Mountain, and the reason he's pointing out is because he was telling us this is where they trained during the war. They would go over there in a Kingley, which is an old H-34 helicopter, and they would land the team, and then they would do relatively safe operations on the mountain. There was still VC over there, and they'd still occasionally encounter them, but it meant that they could practice all their drills for their reconnaissance missions. And there's Larry in the Buddhist temple finding some peace, I guess. I didn't find any peace because there was a monkey there, and it's called Monkey Mountain, right? And this little monkey decided it was going to steal Bruce's rucksack, so I had to go up and challenge it. And of course, it challenged me back. It wanted to fight. So, and I thought, oh no, what's going to happen? So I shouted. There's no children in here. I told it where to go. Put it that way, and I clapped my hands. And then I realised I just shouted the F word in a Buddhist temple. So,
Oh, you're condemned.
yeah, that's me on the blacklist, right? So, okay, so Larry basically sat with us in our hotel room there and told us about the night on the mountain on the 23rd of August, and we got the interview with him. It's very important for us to record the history of these guys and to get it down. You know, it's for future generations to understand what they did. And it was great to do it with Monkey Mountain right behind us. It was kind of fitting. So the next day we went up to Hai Van Pass, and this is a mountain pass that sits between Da Nang and the imperial city of Hue, and just south of Hue, a place called Phu Bai. And Phu Bai is where FOB-1 was, so SOG were operating out of there. My boss was based there for a while, and FOB-4 was where we saw down on the beach. And the reason there's a crazy guy over here, this is Lynn Black. Lynn Black's a friend, he lives up in Washington State. And Lynn probably ran, Larry thinks, maybe 60 missions across the fence. You know, most guys ran 2 or 5 or 10 at the most. You know, some people have 20, and everyone looks at the guys with 20 like they're insane. Well, Lynn did 60, so... you know, and he looks it too. So the reason he's on there is because when they closed FOB-1 down, he and his friend were absolutely drunk as skunks in the recon bar, and they realised they needed next day to get transport down to FOB-4. So instead they said, let's just get all the liquor. So they took it out the back of the club because it was all being shut down, and they piled it in the back of their Jeep, and they decided to drive down through the pass, which of course is VC infested area. And as they're going along, Lynn's driving, and the guy next to him says, you know, pull over, I need the bathroom. And he said, you'll just have to go out the side of the Jeep because there's no way I'm stopping. So they drove all the way down. They got to Hai Van Pass. This is where the Marines were based. And the Marines said, hell no, you're not going any further. And they had to sleep the night here around the bunkers. And that's why we've got a picture of him there, because a little bit of history that we were kind of standing on as we were there in the past. So we get to FOB-1 site at Phu Bai. This is an old, about the only thing left standing is an old concrete bunker there, right on the edge of the airfield at Phu Bai Airport, which is a small sort of national airport now in Vietnam. And the picture here that's taken of RT Idaho is actually on the airstrip at Phu Bai, so it's pretty close by. And the rest of the team, not me, because I was being sensible, I just was standing back. They walked into a minefield, so, you know, and then thankfully Marianne translated the sign and realised it said, "Do not go beyond this point."
Yeah.
She saved
Good
their
job.
She saved their asses. So this is Mr. Tan, who was our driver. He was an absolutely amazing guy, very professional. If anyone goes over there, we recommend you use him as a driver. So we went to the Imperial City, and this is one of the drone shots that Hayden took. We've got the whole flying over of it and everything. It was really cool for the documentary as well. Very, very good for us to capture. But this city was a huge battleground. You know, the Marines and the ARVN and the 101st Airborne got involved later on after the Battle of Tet, during the Tet Offensive, the Battle of Hue, sorry. And Don was busy that night too, weren't you, Don?
Yes, I was.
So this is the team at the actual No Mon Gate, which is a beautiful thing to see. You know, unfortunately pockmarked through loads of bullet holes in the side of it, but they've been refitting it quite a lot, and it was kind of quite a peaceful place to go. And then the next day we hit Marble Mountain with Schwan, and there's Larry and Schwan, you know, under the mountain. And right on the top peak is where Larry was based on the night of the battle there. And Schwan was there 2 years later, just to put them in context. They were out of sync with each other. They never saw each other in Vietnam. But here they are. So that's the camp as it was. The headquarters is down here. You've got the commo shack, sort of completely surrounded by fencing and security, and then you've got the staff offices, and behind that the recon hooches, and over on the right the indigenous troops were based, and then you've got the motor pool and so on. There's some latrines and showers and things in there too. But the guys were very keen to show each other respect as they pointed out to the rest of us where everything used to be and on the site, and some water buffalo walked past. It was a pretty cool moment. And this is from one of the drone shots where we flew the drone over Marble Mountain. So you can get a completely different point of view when you have a drone, as long as you don't get seen using it. That little white dot on the top is actually a hexagon of sand. But when you look underneath it, it's an old pillbox. You know, it's an old concrete pillbox, and that was the site where Larry was based on the 23rd of August. And you can look right down into the camp where the firefight was going on, and about up where that sort of path thing is up there is about where the helipad was. There we go. So then we got into the time capsule, which we've got a little film to show you shortly. And this was a very moving moment for all of us, but I'll save that for the film. But the guys got together and we buried a time capsule in a nice quiet spot in the jungle, and got bitten by a lot of VC mosquitoes. So we needed air support. So here we are the next day going up to the cool mountains of the Barnard Hills. It's a beautiful resort up in the mountains, and compared to the coast, the temperature is more like a kind of early spring day in England, which, i.e. for you guys, it'd be pretty cold. But we really enjoyed ourselves, and as you can see, the guys were getting really close. And this is a common thing you see with Vietnamese men, and it happened a lot to special forces when they got to Vietnam. And if they weren't warned, some guy comes up and takes your hand as you're walking down the street, you know, and you'd be, what the hell, you know. But they were warned, you know, this is a sign of respect. Do not pull your hand away, because if you do, this guy will never work with you, you know, out in the field. So they were very, touchy-feely with each other, and it's just a perfectly normal sign of respect. And that's where Schwan and Larry were kind of wandering around arm in arm, and it was a beautiful thing to see, because it's a sign of how close they were. They've never met before, and that's how close they got. Recon brothers, right? So here we are in the cable car coming down the mountain, and as we came down, we sang the Ballad of the Green Berets with Schwan. And that was, it chokes me up because it was pretty cool. So here we've got the beautiful Marianne modelling her Ao Yai, and Schwan was so taken with that he actually bought her a statue of a Vietnamese lady, which you can see she was delighted with. This was during the gift giving that we had at the airport, saying goodbye to Xuan. So Xuan had my my SOG Seiko that I was wearing, which is a reproduction. I traded it for his watch, and he gave Bruce a butter bead bracelet. Hayden gave him a tiger stripe boonie hat, and Larry and Xuan traded sunglasses. And this is like another thing that was done typically with the Montagnards and the Vietnamese recon guys, is they would often, you know, if you were a new special forces guy and you walked into their hooch, they'd literally strip you of all your stuff, you know, your sunglasses, you know, like a team of, you know, pickpockets, but it was a sign of respect. They'd empty your pockets out, take everything. So, and this is kind of what we did with Xuan as part of keeping that tradition alive. It's pretty cool to do 52 years later, you know, to be able to carry on that tradition. And then going down to Tudo Street, well, this isn't, you know, this is the new version, and it's a pretty wild place, you know. It's about like it was back then, crazy. And then the next day we went to SOG HQ in Pasteur Street in Saigon. We're back in Saigon now, and the building is exactly the same as it was during the war. It's the same building, the same gates, everything. So it's kind of interesting. It's not everything has, you know, there's a lot of change over there, but in the 50 years. Now this was cool. So we had a local friend called Joss who managed to give some backsheesh to somebody and get us into the building that the CIA had rented. That is, often people think this is the embassy, and it isn't. You know, it's nearby, but this is where the CIA had a residence for families. And during the very last moments, as the MVA stormed through the gates and went into City Hall, we could literally see City Hall over the railing from this rooftop. In comes the last few Air America helicopters and plucks out as many people as they could. And there's Larry with his fist of defiance. Yes. Pretty cool. Another good moment. And the last thing, really, those of you who know Larry will know he absolutely loves his Harleys, and his whole family are Special Operations Association riders. And so we had to go to the Harley shop and get him seated to represent Larry here tonight and talk to you about it.
Thank you.
Very nice.
Thank you. So. So we've got a movie now. I think it's working.
Hey, Bruce Christensen here from the history of MACV-SOG, www.sogsite.com. I'm here with legendary SOG member Larry Trimble, aka Gambler, assigned to RT Asp, RT Rattler, with 3 tours in Vietnam. Next to us, we have Rob Graham, Savage Games. Here is Hayden Lockett of New Zealand, a team member of Rob's. So what we're doing today, we have several items from CCN, FOB4, Da Nang, Marble Mountain. Our plan is to put the items into our time capsule here. We will go to Marble Mountain in a couple of days, and we will bury this as a ceremony for those who served in FOB4, CCN, those who lost their lives working for SOG at CCN, and all SOG members across Vietnam. So we're going to start just talking about the items we brought here, and we're going to start with Larry, his items. Larry, of course, was assigned to FOB4 CCN. Larry, go ahead.
Yeah, I got one of our team coins as we come back. This is on the back, it's got the team patch of ASP, and also on the front of it, it's got the MACV-SOG patch. We want to put that in there. We got actually 2 of them. This is a patch, it's on the back, and it's actually the, got on there, this is a patch. What I did was I got our people together one time with the interpreter, and we decided, and they actually give the design of this, and then we had it made downtown. The first one was actually, it was made was in Hawaii. I went to Hawaii, we got these, and then when we come back, we have more made, which was a little bit bigger. I want to put a dime in, American dime. I thought that might be interesting. And here's a MACV-SOG patch, OD for uniforms. Of course, we didn't wear them, but in the States, you know, the guys had this and everything. I wanted to go ahead and put this or business card, Connie, in there. We went by, numbers like that was, there was a 1-0 was a team leader and a 1-1 was the assistant, and then there was a 1-2 normally on Americans. Most of the time you only got to run with 2 people, so I put on the back. The team leader is a 1-0, as I say, and the 1-1 was the second in command. I put both the times I have run as a 1-1, and I did go on one mission with as a 1-2. When I first got there, it was more like a strap hanger, as we called the guys, just so we could learn a little bit how to become. I advanced quite fast because they didn't have that many people actually running it. And that concludes what I'd like to put in a time capsule.
Here we go. Is it going in? What Rem?
Great, thanks. So I'm coming from the British contingent here, supporting the work of SOG and the Special Operations Association. We designed the SOG video game with Tilt Meyer and with Ken Bowe. A lot of help from Jim Shortend on Hassie, Barry Pensek, the Cobra pilot, a few other people that have been giving us a lot of advice and support, Doug Godshaw, the president of the SOA, and so on. All really great friends. I have more friends now, I think, who are over 70 than my own age, which is really cool. I really enjoy your company, and apart from when they get me shit-faced, shots in the black eyes. You didn't stop, so I didn't stop. It was an honour, sir, to be in your company and to down some bourbon with you.
Thank you.
It was not an honour in the morning. I was so, anyway, we're here and for the time capsule. Something very, very special to our team is this challenge coin, which is basically the Medal of Honor challenge coin from Colonel Harris Davis. Harris is a good friend of mine and the team. It has a 5th Special Forces Group badge on the rear, and on the front it has a Medal of Honor badge. We were invited to the White House in March of 2023 to attend a ceremony where we saw Harris receive the medal directly from the President. And that medal should have been given to him 57 years ago. So it was long overdue. And having interviewed him and sat with him and discussed his career and his service and his 3 tours in Vietnam and the heroic deeds he did, he wasn't in SOG. He was doing other things with Special Forces. He was in a lot of aid camps. But the guy was a hardcore warrior, and everyone who served under him, and when he was right up till he was commander of 10th Group, all saying that he was the best leader they ever had. So this is why this is going in the box, because he earned it here in Vietnam, and he saved all his buddies on the day, and he had the esprit de corps, de presso libre, and there it is. So from the British side, we've got some guys in our team who are what we call British Airborne Forces. They're from a range of units, including Special Forces, and the typical patch that they would wear is what we call the Pegasus patch, maroon, and the sort of silvery blue Pegasus. So that represents sort of all British Airborne Forces. And then we have from one of our guys, from Pete in particular, we've got the 2 para badge, which goes with him. And it has basically the winged parachute on the front, and it has the Pegasus on the back. So that's going into, and this will cause a mystery if anyone ever digs this up. They'll be wondering why you've got effectively kind of SAS type patches mixed in with Medals of Honor and SOG members. But I think it's pretty cool that we have this what you call the special relationship between Britain and America. We've always had our back, had each other's backs in combat, and that's why we wanted to do this. And you particularly asked us to bring this. Yeah. And then we've got the little Great Britain flag, which is typically worn on the shoulder or on your bergen, with a bit of Velcro. So we've got that going in, and the and the card is from the parachute regiment official coin. Is just described and what it means. So there we are. I'll add those into the box.
So what I'm putting in the box, there's a few things. But first I want to talk about this this bracelet here. The bracelet has the name of Gilbert A. Secor. The little thing about Secor was him and my dad were first group, Okinawa, both medics. They arrived in country in 1962 as medics together. They're very good friends. Gilbert, he was one of a lot of special teams, did a lot of special missions, including the rescue of American troops at Long Bay when the NBA rolled over the ACAP with tanks. They couldn't get the Marines to help them out that were right down the street, so they got a bunch of SOG guys in and they went and rescued the survivors. Gilbert received a Silver Star for that night. Unfortunately, August 23rd, 1968, Larry was there, my father was there. Gilbert was killed during the battle. My father told me that he heard Gilbert say, they called my father Chris because his last name is Christensen, yell, "Chris, we're under attack." Then he was unfortunately killed. So his bracelet, August 23rd, 68, will be in the time capsule as well. Next we have, regarding, Larry was on the same program I was. We had a team of people together. We decided on August 23rd, 68, 50 years later, bring in the family members of the 16 personnel that were killed that night. Bonnie Cooper was a great help with this. She found everyone, located them, told them what we're doing. We had a great team together, Gene Pugh, Doug Gottschall, myself, a few others, Till was involved. So we made coins, made a coin for each of the family members, and I had their family members engraved. There's 16 stars here for the 16 men that were killed that night. We had Da Nang, August 23rd, FOB4, that was the name of the camp at that time, later with the CCN. So, and then also we made plaques for all the family members, and it was a very moving time, a lot of closure for the family members. But this coin will be going in, and we will be talking more about Larry's participation on August 23rd, 1968, as well as we go on more filming. But this will be going in. Fifth group coin here, and has a fifth group flash. Whenever the troops came over from different groups in the United States, 7th group, 10th group, 1st group, they all went into 5th group and became one unit. Some with the SOG, some with the ACABs, Mike forces, etc. But that's the 5th group coin. Let's go.
It's not my first sandcastle.
Oh, Rob's gonna move the whole mountain.
Sandcastle. If you find some gold, we have to split it, right?
Airborne.
If I hit a mine, I'm not responsible.
Okay, just take up a blast force, okay?
All right, here
Hey, Crash. You hurt your hand, Marianne? Okay? Yeah. I got Band-Aids at home if you need them. Your turn, Bruce, huh?
Yeah, I think we're good.
Good. Yeah, get out of there, Christ. Okay. Yeah, that'll hold it good. Okay.
Good. Let's put it down the hole.
Okay. We're putting the case down here from... Buried with something to remember us from 1968, when August 23rd. We're burying it at the base of Marble Mountain. This sort of thing will probably be here whenever nobody's around no more, you know. But you know what? I'd like to suppose that me and him shake our hand and salute our former comrades. Okay. Okay. Buried for us. I want to salute. I'll salute. Okay. Thank you. Okay. Thank you. Whoa. Thank you, John.
Oh, no, we'll take those home.
We take home. Take home.
Oh. This so.
What? This is Sacred Soil, we'll bring it back home. Some of us in the United States, some in Vietnam, and Rob, of course, take it back to the UK.
Yeah.
And we'll bring this to Seoul with us next year, all right?
In our pockets.
In our pockets, yep.
I have a fantastic idea. Sword.
Ready? Put you down in the soil. Sacred soil. Marble Mountain.
Sacred soil. Hey,
Yeah, we need a camouflage.
you ready?
Yep.
Okay.
Okay.
Let me have some. Thank you. Okay,
Okay.
top it down.
A little bit of brush on top just to kind
Yeah. I think that'll work, huh?
Bruce Christensen here from the History of MACV-SOG, www.sogsite.com. Here we are in Da Nang, Marble Mountain, and what we're doing here today is filming, it's starting to rain, yeah, very nice, filming Larry and Sean's return to Marble Mountain here. This journey started a couple years ago. I was pestering Larry to come to Vietnam, return to Vietnam type of trip, and finally Larry agreed, which is great. At that point in time, then we had to look for sponsors to assist Larry coming to Vietnam with a 2-week trip, and it is coming up. And so glad it's waterproof. So we're going to go around. Again, I introduced myself, so we have Marianne. Go ahead, Marianne.
Hi, I'm Marianne.
Hi, I'm Larry Trimble. I'm very fortunate to come up here and back on Marble Mountain after 5 years.
Oh, I am a son of the Idaho. Hi.
I'm Hayden. I'm one of the programmers or encoders at Savage Game Design.
And also Hayden is our main drone photographer here. Does some excellent work. If you want to see some mad flying skills, watch his drones. Footage.
Good. I'm Rob Graham from Team Savage Game Design, supporting Team Gambler, Team Idaho, Team Rattler, Team Asp. And we're here today, and it's been a really emotional time for us all, and sharing some stories. A lot of brotherly love between you guys, and just really happy to be here. So.
Yeah, again, I want to thank Rob, Graham, and Savage Games for sponsoring Larry to come to Vietnam, and it's very generous of your company to do this, and you as well.
It's a team effort, Bruce. So it's our team to your team.
And I'd like to thank all of you for being here. It's a great occasion, not only here in Vietnam, but in Vietnam.